I totally read this question differently because I thought it says, do neurosurgeons provide placebo to patients who think they need medication? The they, I thought it was like the patients who
Yeah,
are
so
like
a patient who's Googled their
exactly.
their
They want to like medicate
symptoms
themselves.
and
So
yeah, so I think that probably happens more often. People self-diagnose based on what they read on Google, and I don't know. I think it's definitely a challenge for not just neurosurgeons but physicians to address those difficult patients because it comes down to education and what's actually going on.
I think within medical care, though, trust is extremely important with your physician, and if you are somehow not addressing the actual concern and not going by those diagnostic criteria, and you're just kind of playing along with whatever hypochondriac situation is present, that you're violating that trust, that confidence that a patient would naturally have in you.
And I think just because information is so much more available now, with the internet, so a patient. I mean, a lot of times in medicine, there's not really one direct route to go treat some disease or treat whatever might be happening. So that's why a patient, might think they need this certain medication, and then their physician's telling them something else. But
I think that will take in their opinion, the patient's opinion, into consideration when they make their final treatment plan.
It's the patient's body too.
That's true. Yeah. Next question is from Ivan Moskovitz. Do you really only use 10% of your brain?
Want me to start with this one?
Sure.
So what I've heard and what I've read is that you use pretty much all your brain, just not all at the same time. So maybe you use 10% of your brain at any one point in time. But that's not saying that there's only one part of your brain that you're using. The rest is just junk. I don't think I think that's been proven not correct. So.
Well, I think this kind of started as a myth in the 1800s, and it's an urban myth basically because, like you said, you use 100% of your brain. I think where it started was these two physicians, from what I'd read, that they kind of profiled a savant and the development of the savant and how the learning techniques and how this.
What's a savant?
A savant is a person who is on the autism spectrum disorder. However, they're hyper intelligent. They can retain facts
in one area, like a
very specialized area. And so basically, their theory was that all of us actually have the potential to be more intelligent and to use our brains more effectively, and that it's just this kind of latent that we're not completely using our brains, which may be a plausible kind of hypothesis. But I think that this myth has been also propagated through through media, through that movie Lucy that just came out. Wasn't that this year or last year?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you remember have you guys seen the movie?
I don't watch enough movies.
I saw a preview.
She takes she basically gets kidnapped, and they put a drug in her body that makes her utilize the full capacity of her brain and able to move objects and stuff once she gets up to 60% of her brain capacity. And it's all science fiction, But I think that within the general public, that sometimes it isn't always, even though it's a great science fiction story, that there isn't that delineation between reality. And so that maybe has propagated the myth.
I would personally never want to use 100% of my brain at one task.
It'd be exhausting.
Yeah,
that's a lot of ATP and energy expenditure. You'd have to
inefficient.
Exactly.
I know that different parts of the brain do different things, and they might not all be intelligence, because people think when you use 10% of brain, they think of intelligence, but there's different parts of your brain coordinating different vital functions, and yes, even intelligence, also emotions and balance. So I think there's lots more that's going on. It's just not entirely.
I think it's necessary for certain parts of your brain to be inhibited for the other parts to work more effectively, right? So if everything was firing on all cylinders, you have to think, it would be both of your legs are trying to move forward at the same time. When you need to walk, you need to have that kind of inhibition of those other muscles that go balance.
Sort of a constant struggle for resources, because
Exactly.
you have a certain amount of blood that usually goes to your brain and circulates with oxygen and energy. And you can't have that being used all at one time, otherwise yeah, things wouldn't work as well.
Yeah. Satoshi Zensho wants to know, what do you like about Calgary?
I'll go first.
Okay.
What I really like about Calgary, first of all, is the Foothills campus where we're located. And I would say that this is 6 buildings within one roof. And so whether you do clinical research or very basic developmental research or behavioral research, you can actually access all of these different research institutes that have different focuses. You can access patients. I think that it helps for a very highly collaborative environment. And I think that a lot of really good research is going to come, translatable research is going to come out of the University of Calgary already has because of how the building's set up. And it also houses the Hotchkiss Brain Institute, and so this is, we are part of the Hotchkiss Brain Institute, and I think it's a huge institute that is really making innovative research and asking big questions and really moving forward. So I think we're fortunate to be here in Calgary for that. I also like Calgary because of its proximity to the mountains. So we have the Canadian Rocky Mountains just an hour to the west, and that's actually a really beautiful place. You can see the mountains from the city.
Yeah, for skiing or snowboarding, hiking.
Or even like just walking around the park on Mills Hill, there's like a whole mountain range you can just look at, which I didn't know.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you like about Calgary?
I also like the mountains. I like to snowboard. So an hour drive and you're at however many different ski hills. From a research perspective, I do research in stroke, and the Calgary Stroke Program is starting to become one of the prominent stroke programs in the world, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, access to patients is a huge plus being here, being so close to the basic science labs and sort of being all under one roof. It makes for great collaborations. Calgary's a great city. There's Chinooks throughout the year, which is warm weather that just
Even in
kind of
winter.
shows up, and you get 15 degrees in the middle of January, and you're out playing frisbee with shorts and a t-shirt, which is pretty nice. And then it's a young city. Like there's lots to do. There's lots to go and see. Lots of activities. Yeah, there's never a shortage of things to do around Calgary.
So I have a confession. I'm actually from Edmonton. So there's a rivalry between Edmonton and Calgary for those who don't know. And I kind of picked to stay here at the U of C. I think Calgary is great, but I picked this institution because of what it has to offer, like what the panelists have said, and especially the Hotchkiss Brain Institute. It's aiming to be the best institute for neuroscience in all Canada and even the world, as Jeff has alluded to. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on here.
I think we're at an up and coming kind of place, and we really like the excitement, the energy that's here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions, Drake, Steven, Ivan, and Satoshi. So everyone who asks a question today gets a free Brain Bee shirt.
Yay!
Brain Bee is our annual,
You hold it up.
yes, you hold it up. It's like a spelling bee, but you answer questions about the brain. And it happens every year. Every year we're trying to get high school students and even junior high, it goes from grade 9 until grade 12. We're trying to get the community to be more involved with neuroscience.
And this year, the winner gets to go to Australia to compete on the international level.
Winner this year got an iPad.
That's correct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so,
So it's fun. So brush up on your brain trivia facts
yeah.
and participate next year.